Hey guys, Ryan here. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite guns in all of Warzone right now, the MP-40. I'm not going to claim that this is outright the best sniper support in the game. I think it's too early for that. But I do think this is a top tier gun for anyone looking to pair their sniper up with the good SMG. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down the attachments, the pros, the cons, and alternatives to the MP-40. I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you do, you don't have to like, you don't have to subscribe. I just want to say thank you for watching the video, and I hope you have a good day. But let's get into it. So first things first, let's start with the attachments. While these are the attachments I have been using, Raven, the developers of Warzone, have stated they plan on changing a lot of these attachments to deal with the bloom issue. And so a lot of these attachments and maybe the best build is going to be different within the upcoming weeks. Now, also keep in mind that build is specifically for sniper support builds. I'm not going to list the attachments. You can get them from that little attachment sheet back there. But I want to talk about the pros and the cons. This gun has great close range damage. That is a key factor in a sniper support because it's going to compete with almost any other gun up close. Secondly, it has easy to control recoil, and we all know why that's important. The other thing, because of the good ground loot of this gun, there are tons of easy ways for you to level this by just playing the game and finding it all over and just running around with it. When I've been using multiple other guns as sniper supports when playing the new Warzone, I found a lot of really good Vanguard guns, but the one that had the best feel to me is the MP-40. That's not necessarily the one that has the best damage, the lowest recoil, or that's the easiest to use or whatever. No, what I mean by it is just the one that feels the best. If I were to define what I mean by feel, I would say it's a combination of its mobility, the recoil, the damage, just the overall feel of the gun. I know I keep using the word, but I mean it. I think it's just extremely important for people to focus on the feel of guns rather than just outright the ones that have the best stats and whatnot. Because while a gun can have the best time to kill, if it does not feel good in your hands, if the mobility is too slow, if the recoil is too much, then it's not worth using. The most important thing is that you're using guns that you are comfortable with because that is going to allow you to hit the most amount of shots, and that is the fastest way to get the best time to kill. Even if a gun has its slightly better time to kill in terms of raw statistics, if you are not capable of hitting shots at a higher percentage, then that time to kill is going to be completely irrelevant. That's why I think the MP-40 shines right now, because in terms of feel, in terms of mobility, in terms of damage, in terms of recoil, it feels amazing to me. I've been using a lot of different sniper supports, and a lot of them, as I said, feel really good, but none feel to me as good. And that's one of the main reasons I'd really recommend using the MP-40. On top of that though, right now Vanguard has the issue with it's really difficult to level guns. A lot of people don't know what guns to level within Vanguard, and I think one of the best guns to level and one of the easiest to level is the MP-40. I talked about this earlier, but there are a lot of really good ground loot versions of this gun that can be used early. They may not be viable later on when you're using the green and blue variants and whatnot, but early, you grab that green one, you're going to be melting, kids. That is going to really help you in the long run level the gun up, but on top of that, that's going to allow you to develop a feel for the recoil and how the gun performs overall. Now, I don't think my build is also necessarily the best overall. I think there's a couple tweaks here and there that could be made, and I just think the other thing is a lot of the attachments are going to change within the next couple weeks, so you really have to keep that in mind. Keep your eyes out on channels like mine, on channels like JGod, True Game Data, all of those people, and be ready to be changing your build kind of frequently within a month or so. I also just want to say, before I move into the cons and alternatives, this gun, guys, it's a classic. That is one of the reasons I also love it, because young Ryan back in the day was using the MP-40 in World at War, and that's when I became a sweat. Back in the day using Juggernaut, extended mags, in Call of Duty, I hated when people used it against me, and then I became the Sweat Lord. It's where I learned to drop shot, etc, etc. So there's also the nostalgia factor, and that's something that can't be underestimated. But now I'm going to switch over to talking about the cons of this gun and the negatives that come along with it. So the first major con is going to be the slow rate of fire. Now, this doesn't seem like a big thing to a lot of people, and I really don't mind it, but what it means is that if you miss one or two bullets, the time to kill of your gun is going to go drastically up, and it can kind of ruin the feel of the gun. On the other side, it has good mobility, but not great. And what I mean by that is while it is really good, it's not on par with the old standard of Cold War guns we're somewhat used to. It's still really, really good. And if you build it the way I build it, it's actually really, really mobile. But there's also a little bit better ways to build it other than just the hyper mobile version. So do keep that in mind. If you wanted to run fully loaded, if you wanted to run brace for recoil and whatnot, do feel free to run those things. And as I said, the mobility is not terrible. It's not super bad. And that's why I said it's not great mobility. It's not bad in any means, though, or by any measures. I have to stress that. It is not like something like the CX9 or MP7 where you do feel noticeably sluggish. And that is a big issue I found with a lot of the assault rifle sniper supports in this game. I cannot get them to feel as mobile as I would like just yet while having good recoil control. It seems like within the builds in this game, you have to sacrifice a lot to get good recoil control, to get good mobility, to get good ADS speeds, to get good sprint to fire times, while balancing all of the negatives that come with it. And that is putting a lot of guns in a tough spot. That is where I think this gun can kind of have issues, because if you're trying to find that perfect balance between good damage range, between being good up close, between all of it, it's really, really tough to do. So that's something you really have to keep in mind. I really felt that with Cold War guns, if you were to take something like the old MAC-10, it was just great in almost every situation. It had great mobility, it had good hip fire, it had good close range damage, and it had good mid-range damage. It is not easy to find that perfect recipe of all of those. That is where I'm going to start talking about the alternates of this. Because, for example, the Type 100 feels amazing to me. The gun feels really easy to use once you get the right build for it. But until you get that right build, the gun feels pretty terrible recoil-wise. But then once you do get that right build, it often is lacking in terms of mobility. And on the flip side, when you're talking about a lot of the assault rifles, something like the AS-44 absolutely melts up close. It feels amazing, but trying to get the mobility to be on par with SMGs is really, really hard, and it just feels so sluggish to use. But as for alternative ARs to use, I'd really recommend the Cooper Carbine, the Volk, and the AS-44. I think there's going to be a lot more guns creeping up, like maybe the STG could be really good as a sniper support, maybe the NZ. We're going to have to see. But I think among ARs, I'd really pay attention to those three that I listed. Among SMGs, though, I do think that the M9 Thompson, the Type 100, the MP-40, they're all really, really good. The PPSH is really amazing, even though it did just get nerfed, but it's still really, really good. But that is more of a close-range SMG and doesn't have as much of a good feel as a sniper support. It is my go-to SMG when I'm running an assault rifle, but if I'm using a sniper, I'd much rather prefer something like the Type 100 or the MP-40. So if you're interested in any of those guns, do give them a shot, whether it's one of the ARs I listed or one of the SMGs. There's plenty of alternatives to this gun, and I think we're going to see a lot more creeping up, as I said, but for the most part, this gun's phenomenal, and I really recommend giving it a try. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm really enjoying this new update. I'm enjoying the new guns. I'm enjoying this new map. I'm just really having a good time, and it's something that I'm just enjoying overall. I know I just used that word like 3 times overall. Same thing with me using feel earlier. But whatever. I hope you guys, as I said before, enjoy this video for the 4th time. Hope you have a good day. It has been Ryan. I hope you enjoy your Warzone. Oh my god, 5th time. It's been Ryan. Peace. Okay, but for real, peace.